I mean, look, they were the ones that promised we, the people, a report. And we, the people, didn't get a report. We, the people, got a pretty three-ring binder, and that was the extent of it.
Right. And it was a high dollar value contract.
Right. Notice another little story in here. Pensacola News Journal, Lewis Cooper. He was acknowledging the fact, and let me read it to you folks. The Team Santa Rosa Economic Development Council has been recognized for a marketing effort promoting one of Santa Rosa County's industrial parks. Team was recognized by the Florida Economic Development Council for Best Direct Marketing Piece for a project earlier this year that sent brown boxes with packaging peanuts out to 200 companies and consultants, touting the new Northwest Florida Industrial Park at Interstate 10 as an ideal location to locate regional distribution centers. And there was a couple comments. Look, I really enjoy reading the very creative people from our community who respond to blog comments. One of them wrote, how much did Team pay to go get this award? What a waste of taxpayer dollars. I wonder how much the taxpayers spent through Team corruption per job delivered. Has Team ever generated the first job for the county? I mean, other than paying Cindy and other insiders for nothing. And then the second comment associated with this story was the Northwest Florida Industrial Park. Isn't that the old Pullum Park where they paid $3.2 million for something worth only $900,000? Why the name change? Oh yeah, this is the one that's under investigation. So, you know, all of that stuff is, you know.
Well, here's what strikes me. This award came from the Florida Economic Development Council, and I'm guessing this is a group of people who are largely dependent on public dollars
Yeah,
for their salaries.
Probably a good chance at that.
And again, here's what strikes me is we have these public-private economic development agencies. It's this sort of whole world that's sprung up, public-private economic development.
Right.
And what we've been told is that it has to be a step away from government where there would be oversight and accountability and transparency. It has to be kept away from that because private industry does things so much more efficiently that
the citizens don't need to see.
The citizens can't be involved that closely.
Right.
And yet, here we have an award for effort, basically. My understanding of the way the private free market works is the reward you get is you turn a profit
for the company that you land.
When you get results on whatever it is your business is trying to do. And so there's no mention in this reward of X number of jobs created or anything like that.
Well, they were just creative in their approach. You know, this award doesn't take into account that you actually accomplished anything.
Right.
I mean, for goodness sakes, why should we expect anyone to accomplish anything just because we're paying $135,000 a year to one person for salary and benefits, and we pay their car mileage and we put them in a nice air conditioner? You're just wrong for expecting that they would accomplish something. How dare you?
Well, what amazes me is it's like they didn't even think about the results. It's not about results. It's about the kind of effort you put into it, and the use of colors on your on the picture that you've drawn and hung on the refrigerator and so on and so forth. And yet we're not allowed to see a lot of this stuff because it's private industry and blah blah blah, and the markets do things better. Well, the markets, you go out of business if you don't get any results in a real private company.
Right. In the economic development private companies, they just try to get more money for salaries and still show very little results.
Well, as I've said it before, it's the worst of both worlds. It's the worst of public and the worst of private. You have the unlimited public funds, the unlimited government dollars, and yet you have the private side of it where the public is not allowed to see what they're doing and so on and so forth. I mean, it's like the worst kind of sort of monster that you can imagine being invented. Right. And there's no jobs. There are no jobs coming out of it. That's the teller right there.
Exactly.
Where are the jobs?
Okay, we beat that one enough to death. We got a few moments left in the show, ladies and gentlemen. You know you've heard me pound about it before, and let me say it again. Turn off the Nintendo. Turn off the TV. Use the DVR. Don't it's time to come alive. It is election season, and I want to give you a few tips, and let me just say this. I have a tendency to believe that most of our audience knows how to operate a computer. So, go to the Supervisor of Elections webpage and go to the candidates. Okay? Ladies and gentlemen, just like I have right here in my hand, here's a complete list of all the candidates. Okay? And I also want to let you know that in this list of candidates, each and every one of them, well, I won't say each and every one of them, the vast majority of them, they have a phone number on here. Okay? And these candidates want you to pick up the telephone and call them. I am encouraging you to get involved, folks. Don't wait. Don't sit back and say, well, the candidate never reached me. Okay? I want you to pick up the telephone call, and I want you to go through here. And Claude Duval's running for county commissioner. His telephone's right here. Give him a call. Prudence Caskey, Jim Melvin, Mark Good. I mean, the whole list is on here. We got school board positions open. Okay? I'm asking you to take the initiative. Okay, most of the candidates have now finished getting their petition card signed. Most of them are on the ballot, or will be on the ballot. Go on Supervisor of Elections webpage, get these candidates' phone numbers. Now I want you to understand they're very busy already with campaign season. Call. If you don't get them on the phone, leave them a message. And let me tell you this. If you leave them a message and they don't call you back, if I was you, I'd just mark them off the list, be quite honest with you, because as a candidate, they ought to be interested in anybody that call their house. But look, this is very important, ladies and gentlemen. As we get a little bit closer to the election cycle, and we've talked about it before, we are going to offer to the candidates time on this show. I spoke again with Mediacom this week. As soon as we give them a time idea, they're going to set aside additional time so that all the candidates, their remarks or maybe questions that we ask them, they're going to get some exposure through Santa Rosa Week TV in partnership with Mediacom. And this is important, folks. Get out, exercise your right. Make sure that you know about these candidates. So, glad you tuned in with us. I'm Jerry Cooey.
I'm Deborah Nelson. Thanks for watching.
Good night.